Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Man United channel. Welcome to this new stream that I'm going to be doing. So today we're going to be talking about Donny van de Beek to start against RB Leipzig and the Pogba situation, which did happen yesterday, which obviously I can talk about it because here Van Basten, who is an old ex-footballer, he was talking about Donny van de Beek joining Man United, and he put Donny van de Beek should not have gone to Manchester United. When you're a good player, you want to play every week. It's really bad for a player like Donny to only play 6 or 7 games this year. That is shocking for your match rhythm. I know he is earning loads and loads more than he used to, but as a top player, you have to be critical and look at the chances of playing when you sign for a new club. Donny should have waited for a better prospects and signed for another club. So what I take from that is that he's joined Man United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, obviously. But for him to say he should have waited for another club, no. He wanted to join Man United. He knew what was going to happen. He knew he was going to be a bench player because he strengthens our squad in the midfield. But we do have lots of midfielders. Obviously, he should be playing more than 6 or 7 games because he's a talented player and he links up well with Bruno and Mata and all that. Sort of angered me a bit that he said that because obviously he knew he was going to be on the bench because he improves what's the word I'm looking for, squad depth and that. Yeah. Anyway, apart from that, the Pogba situation is here now. So yeah, yesterday there was reports that the French president was, there was rumours that Pogba was going to retire from the French international team. And then a couple of hours after, he came out and said, no, all these rumours are false. I don't know why the Sun have put that out there. And he basically said he's going to sue them and he's not happy with what they've put out. And to be honest, I agree with him because the Sun shouldn't be putting stuff out that's false. It's false information. To be honest, I mean, I don't know whether that is true. Obviously, he said it's not true. So I hope it is not true because obviously he won the World Cup with France about 2 years ago, back in the 2018 World Cup final. I mean, the Sun shouldn't really be putting stuff out like that. Not with saying because it's false information, and obviously it's annoyed him, and obviously it's upset him from what they've said, and it is false, which is the main thing of what's the main word anyway. Also, Paul Ince, ex-footballer himself, has also said something about Pogba completely different to the story that I was just telling you now. He believes that it's time for Man United to cash in on Paul Pogba and sell him. He also said here he said Paul Pogba should be on the pitch. This is a big game. Ince told Bein Sport. For him to be sitting on the bench and watching with no disrespect, McTominay and Fred, be doing something wrong if I can't get into this team. I know he's had an injury and might be trying to bring him on a little later, but I think it's time to move on. He's come out in the last 2 weeks and said he wants to join Real Madrid. I think his performances since he's been here have been inconsistent, and Paul Pogba is a world-class playmaker, and when he moved to Old Trafford, either great, I don't know what he's on about there, but all he has done has been a problem. The fans have gone against him, and now Bruno Fernandes has come in and shown what you need to do to be a Man United player. He has performed consistently, and Paul Pogba hasn't done that, and that is why he finds himself on the bench. I mean, to be honest, he's not wrong about getting on the bench and what he's doing wrong. Obviously, he has been inconsistent, but the one thing he does, some excuses. Obviously, he had COVID, so obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's putting him on the bench to recover from having COVID-19 and that, which I think is good because he did play him too early. He wasn't match fit at all. 90 minutes, 7 minutes, come off a Pogba in the last 20 minutes, whatever. But yeah, I like what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's doing there. Is he's putting Pogba on the bench and he's bringing him off. Bringing him on, and then taking like a Fred or McTominay or even a Van de Beek off, so you can just put him on, get some match fitness for like 20 minutes because obviously he had COVID. I think it was like about a month, 2 months, 3 months ago now, 2 months ago. So yeah, there's also another thing as well here. Let me find it now. This is some stats from having Fred and McTominay linked with Bruno. So Bruno Fernandes and Fred and McTominay, the stats say, so all three start 4 games, 2.5 shots on target, 3 chances created in open play, 14 passes into opposition box, and 2.8 dribbles. That's with Fred and McTominay. And then other games, 15 games, shots on target 1.1, chances created in open play 1.7, passes into opposition box 9.2, and dribbles 1.6. So that's without Fred and McTominay, those stats there. To be honest, it's an upgrade, but I think bringing probably Van de Beek in for McTominay would allow us to go even further up the pitch. Because what I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's do is he's protecting the two centre backs, Lindelof back here, and then he's playing obviously Fred and McTominay up here to protect the centre backs, which are obviously in a deeper role. But I feel like if he put probably Rashford, Martial, like Bruno, Van de Beek, Pogba, Fred, and then obviously the back four, the normal back four like Luke Shaw, Telles, Lindelof, Maguire, and Wan-Bissaka, and then De Gea in goal, obviously, because he's been a goalkeeper for many years. I feel like we get a lot more attacking options, and then obviously Fred would cover the wide positions, or he'd cover the back four going side to side, and then Donny van de Beek, Pogba, and Bruno would all obviously stay up in the pitch like a triangle formation. So got Fernandes and then Van de Beek and Pogba here, and I feel like that would probably get the best out of most of our players. Obviously, Rashford and Martial playing up front as strikers. Rashford's more of a left winger. Obviously, Martial is a striker now. Because it's amazing what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's done with Martial. Because Martial was meant to be a left winger. Obviously, now he's turned him into a more centre forward, which is great because then we're getting more goals out of him. And obviously, more goals, the more you win. Depends what the scoreline is, really. If it's 2-2, Martial scores 2, obviously. It's not the best, but you've got to live with it. It's football. Yeah, I think Fred's probably our best CDM at the moment, ahead of Matic and McTominay. I just think he's more mobile and that. Yeah, there's another thing here. So Man United have scored 9 goals in the Premier League so far this season. 5 of those goals have come in the 69 minutes that Donny van de Beek has played. A huge role to play in the season and beyond. I mean, if that is a stat, I don't know why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's playing, and maybe he didn't want him, and maybe he just wanted Jack Grealish. But when you have a player, like Donny van de Beek with the talent and the skill that he has, you'd want to play him, wouldn't you? Because obviously he's going to link up well with Bruno, as he's like a playmaker. He plays the central, like centre mid and box to box player. Same with Pogba. That's why I think playing Pogba, Van de Beek, and Bruno would work, because you'd have Bruno more further up the pitch. you got Van der Beek and Pogba like creating the plays. So obviously Pogba could play a nice pass to Rashford, and then Donny Van der Beek could play a nice ball to Martial over the top. So I think you get the best out of them there. Something else now here. Yeah. So Gary Neville has said coming out of the international break, what's the difference? The big difference is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this week has gone back to what served him well last season. It's that box, Lindelof, Maguire, Fred, Scott McTominay, all got a defensive mindset, all quick at getting to the ball, particularly those two in front of the centre-backs. Every time Manchester United attacked the ball and broke out to Chelsea midfield, they were all over them like a rash. Those two, how aggressive they are, they're onto things, quick to the ball, quick to react, and they recycle the ball. What it also did is when Manchester United go on to try and score a goal, it's a platform. They allow Man United's fullbacks, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, to be really aggressive, rather than Lindelof and Maguire getting caught out. That midfield two get really aggressive towards the sides. They're working in tandem. McTominay doesn't win it when Fred does win it. You see what happens. It just means that the back two of Lindelof and Maguire are less exposed. For me, Ollie's almost in some ways thought, I need to go back to basics. I can't keep conceding chances. He's got the issue and stands with Van der Beek and Pogba, but he's gone back to basics this week, and it's meant that they're more difficult to play against and they concede less goals and chances, which I think is good in a way that obviously he's gone back to basics, not conceding any goals, keeping a clean sheet, which is obviously important. But we need to play more attacking players. We can't just have like a back six is what he's sort of playing. Obviously, you've got Freddie McTominay up the pitch, just ahead of the centre-backs, and then you've obviously got Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka playing in the full-backs position. You don't want a back six. You want like a back five. Obviously, not proper back five, but you want the holding midfielder at the back, and then you want two midfielders, one centre mid and then one attacking mid, like City do with Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva last season. Kevin De Bruyne was more sort of up the pitch. David Silva was more low. I think I don't really watch Man City, and then obviously they had Rodrigo in the holding position, centre defensive midfielder, which worked for them last season. Obviously, they got second. They did lose quite a few games though due to the defence at the back, which I think let them down quite a bit. Like the Man City game against Man United when Ederson threw the ball out to McTominay. McTominay blasted it from 40 yards out, which obviously is an error from the goalkeeper, not due to the defence, but Norwich 3, Man City 2. That's another example of their defence. And not sure what's really going wrong there, but this isn't a Man City fan channel. If you want to go and find one or make one, go do that. But this is a Man United fan channel. We're here to talk about Man United. Yeah, so I've got a couple of other things as well. So Solskjaer's top priorities for signing players. So Erling Haaland is still at the top of Solskjaer's list for a long-term centre-forward. Bridges remain intact between Solskjaer and Haaland despite negotiations with Mino Raiola and in I can't say that word. Fractiously last year. Haaland can leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer of 2022 if there's a bid of 75 million, but sources have indicated that an early move could materialize at a higher price if Haaland is ready to move. So obviously Erling Haaland's at Borussia Dortmund now, and he's got a 75 million release clause that comes in at 2 years, so in 2022. But if Man United want to pay for him, they'd have to pay more. But I think if you do wait until 2022, then obviously you can buy him for a lot cheaper. But then if you don't buy him now, like we might not get goals. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's Haaland's still at the top of his transfer list. Also, Gary Neville said something about Pogba and Fernandes. He says here, for me, I've never understood why Ollie hasn't tried. Maybe he has looked at in training and hasn't liked it. Why he hasn't tried one sitter with Pogba and Fernandes in front like hell, because you need to be disciplined. But with 1-2, I think you can have a bit more freedom to run forward, which I think he's right. I think Pogba should play more up the pitch. He's more of a centre mid, box to box, and he's sort of playing in a sort of deeper role, which is like holding midfielder next to Matic, which he obviously can't do, as we've seen. Obviously, Ollie's tried that. Obviously, he's not in the team right now, but I think if Ollie was to put him back in when he's obviously match fit, I think the best position for him to play in was probably be alongside Bruno Fernandes, maybe like sitting in a bit deeper, probably like Bruno here and then Pogba just about here, just below him, like centre mid, box to box, because that's what Pogba is. Or even bring Van de Beek in. He's box to box midfielder. He gets in the box and scores some goals. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you enjoy these, and turn on notifications if you don't want to miss a new stream. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at 2 o'clock when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer finishes his press conference today. Thank you.